boxing. 6 of the world's best super middleweights are putting everything on the line in a tournament the likes of which the boxing world has never seen. Arthur Abraham, Andre Dirrell, Carl Froch, Mikkel Kessler, Jermaine Taylor, Andre Ward. The best will fight the best until only one emerges victorious. The revolution is here. Coming October 17th. Showtime Sports Super 6 World Boxing Classic.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very much for your attendance on behalf of Showtime Sports. We thank you for being here. The interest in this press conference and the news that we are to give has been absolutely huge, and in fact worldwide. This press conference will continue throughout this week in Copenhagen and in Berlin, where I'm told that 15,000 people or more will be attending. So we're here today to confirm and clarify the rumors that have been circulating about this huge news. And we are here also to provide details for one of boxing's biggest and greatest and most intriguing developments as we introduce this exciting and unprecedented development between Showtime Sports and the red-hot super middleweight division. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you 6 of the best super middleweight boxers in the world. First, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a revered world champion who is ready to move from middleweight to super middleweight. Fighting out of Berlin by way of Armenia, his record 30 wins, no losses, with 24 knockouts. Please welcome the undefeated IBF middleweight champion of the world, King Arthur Abraham. And now, ladies and gentlemen, one of England's most popular fighters who made a spectacular showing in his U.S. world title debut. From Nottingham, England, his record 25 wins, no losses, with 20 knockouts. Please welcome the undefeated WBC super middleweight champion of the world, Carl the Cobra Froch. This renowned world title holder has competed in 72 world championship rounds. From Copenhagen, Denmark, his record stands at 41 wins, 1 loss, with 31 knockouts. Please welcome the 2-time and current WBA super middleweight champion of the world, Mikkel the Viking Warrior Kessler. And our next fighter, ladies and gentlemen, is the 2004 Olympic bronze medalist. From Flint, Michigan, his record stands at 18 wins, no losses, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the undefeated WBO #1 super middleweight sensation known as the Matrix, Andre Dirrell. And our next fighter is the only one of our Super 6 to have held the undisputed world crown. From Little Rock, Arkansas, his record 28 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, with 17 knockouts. Currently ranked the WBC #3 contender. Please welcome the former undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor. And our 6th fighter is Andre S.O.G. Ward, who is unfortunately unable to attend this afternoon. He is the only one of our boxers to have captured gold in the Olympic Games from Oakland, California. His record 19-0 with 12 knockouts. He is the undefeated WBC #1 super middleweight contender. It is Andre Ward. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Super 6 World Boxing Classic, the Super Middleweights. Great world champions here in attendance. And with these outstanding and world-renowned promoters here, and you, our press, we would be remiss if we didn't pause for a moment to recognize the passing of someone who is a dear friend to many of us, someone we all respected very much, gave us many, many thrills in the boxing ring. Of course, I'm speaking of the tragic death of Arturo Gatti, the two-time world champion. At this time, we would like all of our boxers, our promoters, and everyone here to please remain silent for a moment of silence as we remember our dear friend, Arturo Gatti. Your attention, ladies and gentlemen. And like our boxers and promoters, we ask you to rise. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. May God rest his soul. As I mentioned earlier, ladies and gentlemen, the world is so intrigued of this concept, and we're here to provide some of the details. My pleasure to introduce at this time a man who will do that for us, the creator of the Super 6 World Boxing Classic. He'll tell us a little bit more about the concept, explain the format, and amplify on the significance of this boxing tournament. Please welcome to the microphone Senior Vice President and General Manager of Showtime Sports, Ken Hirschman.
Thank you. Welcome to the first ever Super 6 World Boxing Classic, the Super Middleweights. I appreciate you all coming out. We have a lot to get to, so I'll try and keep my remarks as brief as possible. Throughout my career, I've had the privilege of being involved in some of the biggest events of all time. We all remember Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield 1 and 2 with the ear-biting Lennox Lewis, and Mike Tyson, biggest pay-per-view event of all time. Through that date, Diego Corrales and his impossible come-from-behind victory over Jose Luis Castillo. But I have to say that never have I been more excited about any project I've worked on than this one. There are a lot of firsts, obviously, with this tournament. It's the first tournament, I think, in boxing history where there are a point-based system to determine who moves forward. It's the first time that there are 5 promoters involved in one tournament, a Herculean task. And finally, I think it's the first time that you have 6 fighters of this caliber all agree on to stand in and fight each other. And it's a real testament. These 6 fighters have a staggering combined record of, I think it's 161-4-1. 117 knockouts. Now, for the next 18 months, hopefully, maybe 2 years, if we keep on schedule, we get to see them fight each other. To me, this is what boxing is all about, and has always been about. But this, more importantly, is what sport is about, and we're about to witness it. It goes without saying this tournament could not have been accomplished without many, many more people than me, and in many cases, that is the case. I want to thank each of the fighters, obviously, and they're the true ones, warriors who have to get in the ring every day. So to them, my hat's off. I want to thank the promoters. I'm going to do this alphabetically, just to avoid any further politics. Obviously, Lou DiBella for DiBella Entertainment, Dan Goosen of Goosen Tudor Promotions. Al Heyman is here in the room. He's a manager of Jermaine Taylor and Andre Durrell. Rick Hennessy, Carl Froch's promoter, manager of Hennessy Sports. Wilfred, Callie Sauerland, and Chris Meyer of Sauerland Event for Mikkel Kessler and Arthur Abraham. Without them, and without many, many hours sitting around a diner, sitting in a conference room in a hotel for endless hours and never leaving, without them, this wouldn't have happened. And they kept on track, they kept on schedule, and they went above and beyond every step of the way to make this happen.
How about me?
I said you. Oh, I did? Gary Shaw, geez. That's really going to be embarrassing later. Gary Shaw for Andre Durrell, Gary Shaw Productions. Must have been like Freudian. I have to thank my staff too, and then I'll get on to talking about the tournament. To pull this off in the time frame that we did required extraordinary effort. Chris de Blasio and Andy Van Tarnhout for the PR side, and my dream team of creative, Earl Froch, Kathy Anton, and their crew, just astounding work. You've seen it in the video and all around you. And this was done under extraordinary time constraints, so I greatly appreciate the effort. The tournament format, all bouts will be contested under the unified rules. They'll all be scheduled for 12 rounds, whether a title is at stake or not. The BC and BA titles will be on the line during the competition. More about that later. There's a group stage. Every fighter fights 3 fights in the group stage. They accumulate points. Win gives you 2 points. A knockout or TKO under certain circumstances gives you a bonus point. Draws 1 point each, and a loss gives you no points. After the group stage, we add up the points. The bottom 2 are eliminated, and the top 4 move on to the semifinals. 4 will fight 1, 2 will fight 3, much like in World Cup soccer and other tournaments of that type. The winners of that will move on to the championship round. And the winner of that is the winner of the first ever, and hopefully be more, World Boxing Classic. The dates and venues will be discussed later and announced later. We're working through lots of different scheduling and logistical issues with venues and other fights that have to take place. So we'll obviously get those to you as soon as we can. But the group stage first round matchups have been set. Carl Froch will take on Andre Durrell. The BC title will be at stake. Jermaine Taylor will be taking on Arthur Abraham. And Mikkel Kessler will be fighting Andre Ward, and the BA title will be at stake in that fight. So as you can see, there's not a bad matchup in the bunch. Overlay on top of that, the tournament scoring, and I think you have some pretty exciting moment. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Jimmy, and I'll be around later for questions.
Thank you, Ken. At this time, as Ken said, we want to especially thank our promoters who made this all possible. A Herculean task. To get all of these great minds and great promoters together to agree and cooperate. And at this time, we want to offer them the opportunity to say a few words about their fighters. And we're going to bring them up. Once again, we're trying to be in alphabetical order as much as we can. In alphabetical order in regards to the fighters that they represent. At this time, we would like to invite, representing Sauerland Events, Wilfried and Sauerland, and Chris Mayer, CEO of Sauerland Events, to say a few words about Arthur Abraham.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before I introduce Arthur, I think I would like to say thank you to Ken Hirschman and his crew for the fantastic job they've done. When we first heard about this idea, we thought, like usually boxing, this will never happen, but they worked very, very hard, and thanks to the other fighters and to the promoters, they also came together and to bring about this tournament. And I think, judging from what I hear in Europe and what I see here in the States, it's going to be a fantastic success. The people in Europe, they're very, very excited about this, and I hope and I'm sure the matches will come up to the standard everybody expects. Now to Arthur Abraham, he came to us 6 years ago with a plastic bag in his hand. He had lived in Germany before. At that time he came from Armenia. To make it clear, he is originally from Armenia. He is now a German national, and is fighting under the German banner. After 2 years with us, he had a very short amateur career. He boxed for the world title at the end of 2005. He won the title, the IBF world title. He has defended since then 10 times. I must say fairly easy, except one fight, which made him very famous, where he broke in the 4th round his jaw in 2 places, and he fought the remaining 8 rounds and won on points. in a later rematch with the same opponent, Edison Miranda, he stopped him in 4 rounds. And Arthur is very popular in Germany, but all over in Europe because of his punching power. And I'm pretty sure that he will carry this power also into the super middleweight, and that he will make a big name for himself. Now over to Arthur.
Excuse me, I cannot so good speak English, maybe a little bit. I am very happy. I am here in New York and for this tournament, and I am here. I want here boxing. I want boxing in Madison Square Garden, and I want win. Can I not talk? Und sage ich, sagen Sie einfach, ich bin hier, ich bin sehr glücklich, ich bin hier zu gewinnen, ich bin hier zu gewinnen.
So he came here to win, he came here to participate in the tournament, and of course his target is to win it.
Und jeder ist stärker als der andere.
Each fighter, they are all very exceptionally good, one is better than the other. It's a heavy task, but he's coming here to win. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Say a few words about Andre Durrell from Gary Shaw Productions. Please welcome Gary Shaw.
Thank you, everyone. First of all, I want to pay my respects personally to Arturo Gatti's family. I had the opportunity to represent Arturo when I worked for Main Events. Went on the road with him when he fought De La Hoya and Joe Hutchinson in Canada. And there's anybody that had a great personality and was really a special type of person. It was Arturo Gatti. I give my condolences to the family, and I know Pat English is here, and to Kathy Duva for Main Events, and Pat Lynch, who spent their careers with Arturo. It's a great loss, and at the same time, I think we should feel the same way about Alexis Arguello, a great champion inside the ring and outside the ring, who really had his problems in his home country, and with 2 great losses in a very short period of time. Okay, let's get on a little happier note. I think I have some groundbreaking news that I haven't shared with anybody, and this came late yesterday. One of the problems that I saw throughout the idea of this tournament is what happens when a fighter has a mandatory, and suddenly he works all his career, everything in his life, to be a world champion, and he gets stripped. And that's really a tough thing. So I worked hard, and I have to read you this email that came in that I believe is groundbreaking news, and one that's almost hard to believe. It's from Jose Suleiman of the WBC. Dear friends, on behalf of all the members of the World Boxing Council, representing 164 countries in the world, I would like to express our deepest congratulations to Showtime, to all the promoters involved, and to the 6 great fighters that will participate in the historic Super Middleweight Championship tournament. The WBC extends its full official authorization to the tournament and will absolutely cooperate and actively participate in any manner that may need our collaboration. I am personally very proud to see that under the leadership of Showtime TV Network, some of the most important promoters in the world will work together in what promises to be a very interesting series of fights involving the best fighters in the division. The WBC has been very closely associated with most of them, and we are certain that the ultimate winner will be a hero to the world. Carl Froch, current WBC Super Middleweight Champion; Jermaine Taylor, former WBC Middleweight Champion and current WBC No. 3 contender; Mikkel Kessler, former WBC Super Middleweight Champion and current WBA Champion; Andre Ward, current WBC No. 1 contender; Andre Durrell, current WBC No. 2 contender; Arthur Abraham, undefeated and a hero in Europe, moving up from middleweight. To my dear promoters and friends, Gary Shaw, Lou DiBella, Nick Hennessy, Dan Goosen, and Wilfred Sarolin, and to the managers of all the fighters, please accept my congratulations for making this happen. Boxing needs to stand up and make great events like this, and it can only be accomplished with unity, reciprocity, and hard work. Congratulations to all, and I kindly ask you to accept my warmest and sincere regards, your friend, Jose Suleiman, WBC President. that is really, to me, one of the single most important announcements. That means that when Dirrell and Froch fight, one of them will emerge as the WBC World Champion. Whoever they fight next, the WBC title will be on the line. So there'll be no mandatories that affect the belt from the WBC. And I think that is so important to this tournament, to all these fighters, and to all these promoters. So I'm really happy to announce that. I don't know where Andre's granddad is, Leon Lawson Sr. I'd like him to stand up. Where are you? Is he in here? There he is. This is his granddad and his trainer and his manager, his mentor, and everything else that brings Andre to where he is today. And I wanted to acknowledge him. And I'm sure Andre is going to talk a little about him himself. Andre is one of the youngest in the tournament. He has not been a world champion. He will be on roughly October 10th. He is, to me, the most athletic fighter in this entire tournament. He has a gift that is very rare in that he can fight either southpaw or orthodox. And for those that have had the opportunity to watch Andre, you can't blink, because one moment he'll be southpaw and you'll be talking about his style, and when you look up, the guy next to you is going to say, "What are you talking about? He's orthodox, he's not southpaw." So he's always switching. And he has fought some of the toughest fighters, although nobody actually acknowledges it. But he fought Anthony Hanshaw, who's fought Roy Jones. And he fought a fighter that I think when he fought him, he was 25 or 26-1 with 25 or 26 knockouts. And that's Oganov. And anybody that's been in the ring can tell you that Oganov can really punch. If you get tagged by Oganov, you're going down. And it was a great fight for Andre. I believe he's going to win the whole tournament. I don't believe it because I'm his promoter. I believe it because I study fighters. And I believe in the way he fights. And he has lightning speed for 168 pounds. And I think that's going to take him a long way through this tournament. So I'd like to introduce to you, let me just make one other statement. When the idea was brought up about the tournament, it was each fighter going to win to the end. And although I represent Andre Dirrell, I can tell you in every fight that Jermaine Taylor fights against a European, I'm going to be rooting my ass off for Jermaine Taylor. And I'm going to do the same thing for Andre Ward. Because although Andre is not here, Dan Goossen is here representing him, you have 3 American Olympians. And I don't think 3 American Olympians have ever been together and fought anything like this. So for me, it's America against Europe. And at the end of the day, I'm hopeful and I believe that my fighter will prevail over everyone. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you, before, Wilford, I hear stories that the Europeans think they're worried about drug testing. Very much. I think that maybe they think you guys are on steroids or whatever. So I asked Andre to give me a sample this morning. And he was kind enough, he said, "Seriously?" I said, "Yeah, we were in the lobby at a hotel." He said, "I got a bathroom." I said, No, they'll think there's something fishy. Just do it right here." So this is Andre Dirrell's. I hope it's enough of a thing. And I have so much confidence in Andre that he doesn't do drugs that I'm willing myself to have some of this. And you can see by my physique, I'm certainly not on anything other than food. So let me bring up my fighter at this time. On a serious note, a great fighter, a young fighter, and someone that's going to make America very, very proud. The 2004 bronze Olympian, Andre the Matrix Dirrell.
now, I just want to thank God, pay homage to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for putting me in this position. Right now, my heart is beating at 100 miles per hour. I'm nervous as hell. I'm nervous as I've ever been. But not because this is going to be the biggest stage in my career. Not because this is going to be the best fight I've ever faced. Or not because this is going to be the hardest tournament I've ever fought. It's because I know that I'm in a blessed position and in a position to be the greatest of all time. I know come October, I will become the WBC World Champion, and it will not end there. I will become the WBA World Champion as well, and I will become the undisputed champion of the world. I love this opportunity that's given to me, that's presented to me. I want to thank Gary Shaw, Adam Heyman, the 3 Europeans, and especially my grandfather. You know, without him, I didn't tell me where I would be. So, thank you. You know, so I'm just ecstatic right now. I'm happy. I can't wait. When I walked out of that curtain, I got this tingling feeling in my body, just like I did when I was walking out for every fight in the Olympic Games, and that was the biggest stage in my career. So I just know that it's my time. I know it's time for me to shine, and I know I'm going to take this opportunity to run with it, and I'm just prepared. So I hope everybody else is as well, and I hope I receive all your blessings. Thank you.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, as everyone else has here, I'd really like to thank Ken Hirschman and everyone at Showtime for putting together what is an incredible series of fights, an incredible tournament. I think most of the promoters here would agree that, you know, when you're promoting fights month in, month out, sometimes it's hard to get excited about what's coming up. But this has certainly excited me in a big way, and I'm sure everyone else involved in this tournament. And for their patience and perseverance in dealing with everyone, you know, I congratulate Ken Hirschman and Showtime. Also, the fighters, you know, 6 incredible athletes, 6 warriors, you know, to put everything on the line and to agree to fight everyone in this tournament is also beyond belief. It's, you know, they need to be congratulated for taking this sport to another level. And also my fellow promoters. I mean, you know, everyone's done a great job here. We all know how hard it is to make, you know, one top level fight, let alone a whole series, and commit to it and sign into it. And you know, I've worked with all of the promoters here and worked, you know, very successfully. So I know this is going to be an incredible tournament. Now I'd like to talk about my fighter, Carl Froch, current WBC champion. We're both representing the United Kingdom, and wow, what a fighter the United Kingdom's got representing them. I believe that not only is he pound for pound the best fighter coming out of the UK, that he's one of the best fighters ever to come out of the UK, and by entering this tournament he's going to prove that you know, potentially he could be one of the best fighter ever. As I said, he's the current WBC super middleweight champion. He was a world-class amateur. He's done things the traditional route. He's won British, Commonwealth, and then went for the WBC title, the green belt, the title that he dreamed of, the title that myself and Carl first spoke about back in 2001 when we entered on this incredible journey together. I'm very proud of him, very, very proud of him. He's in a real tough tournament. He's up against the best of the best, but I believe that he's going to be the last man standing and keep not only his WBC belt that he's so proud of, but you know, take the WBA and also win this tournament. And I believe that the winner of this tournament is going to be a candidate for pound best fighter in the world, and I believe that'll be Carl Froch. Thank you. Without further ado, the WBC champion, Carl the Cobra Froch.
Good evening, everybody. I'll keep it brief because I've got a lot to get through, and I think we're opening the floor to questions anyway after this. So, first of all, I want to say a big thanks to all the promoters for working together, and particularly Mick Hennessy, my promoter. It's been a long, hard process, but they've managed to pull it off and give the fight fans a great tournament. And Ken Hirschman, for having the vision and the foresight to put something like this together and pull it off. A big thanks and congratulations to Ken Hirschman for that and Showtime Television. It's nice to hear off Gary Shaw that the WBC have been in touch and basically announced that every fight that I've partaken will be a defence of the WBC title, or the WBC will not hold me up in this tournament. The WBC belt means so much to me. Since turning professional, I only ever wanted to win the green belt, the most prestigious belt in world boxing as far as I'm concerned. And it's nice to hear Gary Shaw read that email out, because that keeps things very simple for me in terms of competing in the tournament and not having any hiccups or any problems on the way, political problems. So big thanks to WBC for that, for getting behind this tournament, and I will remain WBC champion throughout the duration of this tournament, regardless of what any other fighter thinks. I'm in this tournament because I've earned my place in this tournament. 25-0, 20 KOs, WBC #1. WBC defended it against a great fighter, Jermaine Taylor, in a humdinger in Connecticut. There's a couple of fighters coming through who think they deserve to be in the tournament, and I suppose they do. They're Olympians, they've done well. All the fighters that are in this tournament deserve to be in here. But you've got to look at the champions. Mikel Kessler and myself are bringing our world titles to the tournament. And we mean business, and we're taking this very seriously, as I'm sure all the fighters are. But you know, that when you're a world champion, you've got that extra edge inside your heart and your mind and your soul. And every fight is a defining fight for me. And I'm going to show everybody why I'm world champion, why I'm WBC champion. I've beaten everybody who comes in front of me. Thanks very much for attending. Thanks to Showtime. Thanks to Nick Henson.
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I'm privileged here to stand here on this stage with so many special boxers, promoters, great network. And I can just say, I got my phone bill yesterday, and I've got quite a few calls to Ken on there, which sums up the amount of work that's gone into this. I think this is a great turning point for the sport. Somehow it's, especially in Europe, we've become a little bit disillusioned with what is going to happen in boxing. Is there a clear way forward? Is there transparency to the fans? Who is the real champion? And I think that the aim of this tournament is to clear this up, and it's a massive step forward today. The tournament is an absolutely global event, especially when you look at where the different fighters are from. Gary touched on it. It was a good point. We've heard from the King, we've heard from the Cobra, and I'm going to talk a little bit about a national hero now. He's a national hero in Denmark. His last fight was viewed by 1.4 million viewers in a country where there's a maximum viewing figure potential of 4.5 million. So 1 in 3 people watched his last fight. We await 15,000 people tomorrow in Copenhagen. Gary, although I accept the invitation for a challenge here, I'm sure with the Viking Warrior coming up to the stage now, we have a very good chance. So, our very own Viking Warrior.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for Showtime, promoters, fighters, for this opportunity, because I was WBC, like Carl Froch says now, he has my belt, and WBA, as I am now, as I lost to Kazaki. So this tournament is a big opportunity for me to test myself of being a real world champion here, and have the greatest fights in the world, because I never thought this tournament could happen. When I heard about it in the start, I thought, well, this is never going to happen. But then Kalle called me and said, you want to be in the tournament? Then, of course, I would. But, of course, it's nice to see so many people, and so many people here today. And I want to say in Europe, in Denmark, in all of Europe, we're looking forward to this tournament. My phone has been ringing all the time for friends, and what's going to happen, what is next, when you're going to fight. it's a big opportunity for me and all the fighters for this tournament. So a big thank you again, and may the best man win.
It's great to be here today on behalf of DeBell Entertainment and Jermaine Taylor, to be part of this historic announcement. I want to echo some of what's already been said. Ken Hirschman deserves a tremendous amount of credit for this, not only for executing it and getting 5 promoters with 5 agendas to sign the same piece of paper, which is amazing in its own right, but also for having the creativity to conceptualize this tournament and to put into play the concept of a round robin, where a loss to another great champion does not eliminate a great champion. It sends him off to another fight with another great champion. And the 4 fighters that emerge as semifinalists in this tournament will have proven themselves and earned the right to be there. And despite the fact, as Carl Probst said, and it was echoed by Mikhail, you have 2 great champions putting their belts on the line in this tournament. You got 2 great champions putting their belts on the line, but they're putting their careers on the line. They're putting their reputations on the line. And they're competing with perhaps the 4 other guys in that division who are the most difficult to fight. And credit to you champions, by the way, for doing that. You didn't have to, and you deserve tremendous credit. 3 great champions from Europe. Arthur Abraham has the heart of a lion, and that fight with Miranda the first time with the broken jaw, that was Arturo Gatti-esque. And there's no greater compliment than I can pay to a fighter to say that was like Arturo Gatti. And on that same theme, and I said this in the back room, Carl Froch reminds me of Arturo Gatti. The guy can look like he's out of the fight. I thought, man, after 6 rounds of the fight with Jermaine, I thought that fight was over. And this guy roared back like a champion. And he never quit, and he kept coming. And it took a miraculous knockout with 14 seconds left to take the belt from Jermaine Taylor's hands and keep it in his own. That's a great champion. That's Arturo Gatti-esque. That deserves praise. On the American slate, 3 Olympians, 3 men that have been in the highest level of international competition and proven themselves there. An Olympic gold medalist, 2 Olympic bronze medalists. For Jermaine, we know the way the last couple of years have gone for us, and it's been difficult. I can tell you this, that the guys he's had difficulty with, Pavlik, Froch, they know what kind of champion he is. They know what kind of warrior he is, because they had to go to war with him. And anyone who's going to fight Jermaine Taylor in this tournament is going to have to go to war with him. And this tournament starts with a clean slate. Everybody's record up here, there are tremendous records up here. There are numerous undefeated fighters and 4 undefeated fighters, and tremendous records up here. But you know what? The record for every guy in this super middleweight tournament starting out is 0-0. It's a new beginning. And believe me, Jermaine Taylor's going to take advantage of that new beginning. He was 14 seconds away from getting back what he so wanted. And he got thwarted by a great champion. But you know what? If he gets through the early rounds of this fight, God willing, he'll have another shot at Carl Froch. And I can tell you that's what we want, Carl. I want to bring up a guy that has earned his stripes as an amateur, as a professional, who has been at the top echelon of boxing and will get back to the top echelon of boxing through this tournament. Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor.
Thank you, everybody. We thank Showtime, first of all, for putting this whole thing together. I know it's hard, man. They did it. It happened so fast. And so I was actually on my boat at my lake house. And, man, it was just, I'm riding the boat. I got a telephone call from my coach. It was like, man, I think they put something together at Showtime. You have to go to New York tomorrow and go to Germany and everywhere. I was like, man, are you serious? But I'm talking about just happened like that. But I'm blessed. I was sitting at home. I was wondering what was going on. Who am I going to fight next year? Here it is. I'm coming off a loss. I was that close to winning the fight. I just thought I made a lot of mistakes in my career. Every fight that I lost, I should have won. And I don't make any excuses. I lost and I lost. But I'm going to take it back to the drawing board, rededicate everything to boxing, and just try it again. I want to thank everybody, all my fans, and thank you, Al Heyman, just for putting this together. You'll never let me down. Appreciate you. And, man, everybody up there, good luck. May the best man win.
Jermaine, I wish Andre would have been vacationing with you on your boat because when he got the call, he was in Mexico vacationing with his family and was diagnosed with flu there in Mexico. And the doctor put him on antibiotics and has told him to not get on a plane yet. Of all places to be to catch the flu. Don't ask. He should have been with you, Jermaine. But hopefully he will be on the... I'm waiting for the doctor to call from Mexico to tell me that he can fly to Copenhagen in Germany. Very, very excited to be in this tournament. I want to say thanks to his team, James Prince, Antonio Leonard, Virgil Hunter. It's, other than the disappointing news about Andre not feeling well, this is probably one of the most exciting moments in not only our fighter's career, but, you know, us as a promoter close to 30 years in this business. And we've done a lot of great fights and been, had sold out arenas, great ratings, the media support just raving about it. But this is something that when it was brought to our attention, we could see the greatness in it. And, you know, I hear about all the promoters working together and Kenny Hirschman putting it together, the fighters all willing to fight one another. This is the type of things that really, I believe the fans have insisted, because you've got not only a tournament, a round-robin tournament, you've got the best fighting the best. No gimmicks, no give and take with the weight, no differences in the size of the fighters, just the best out there fighting one another. You're not going to have some fighter out there that's had 4 professional fights claiming to be the heavyweight world champion. You've got real champions, real Olympians, and the winner of this one not only becomes a star, but I believe very sincerely that this is going to create 2 to 3 stars out of this tournament, along with not a new direction of our industry, because our sport will continue to thrive in the singular fights also. But I just believe this just brings us to a whole different level of how we're going to look to promote fighters that we've got a ton of talent in a certain division. Ken, I know when I met with you, I gave you the contract because I wanted to get this thing signed as quickly as possible. And we believe, and we've got some great champions here. Andre Durrell, who I know that participated in the Olympics with Andre Ward, Jermaine Taylor, and Gary kind of touched on it with our European champions here, and some great champions. But I believe this is going to mirror the Olympics in a lot of ways. And as you know, Andre Ward was one of our last gold medalists for the United States of America. And I do believe if he was here right now, he would be telling you the same thing, that it's great talent, great challenges, but he's got his mind set on achieving the greatness of becoming the winner of this tournament. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out and supporting this, and we'll look forward to seeing it unfold as the fights progress. Thank you again.